And with that,
And on that note,
Emilie, take one.
how's it? My name is Emilie B and I come from a small fisherman's town outside of Cape Town. And that's kind of where I fell in love with people on the periphery of society and with storytelling and nature, I guess.
Which small town?
Do I look at you?
Yeah.
You look at you.
Give me enough.
Strand. So I come from Strand, which is like an hour outside of Cape Town, and it's kind of like a little wretched town that I grew up in, but I love it. I love it so much. You know.
Emilie, what are you still figuring out about yourself?
Sure. See, I think I'm probably figuring out how to be alive and have so much love. Like, every day I'm like overwhelmed at how much love I'm able to experience. And I think every new week, every new month is like me trying to navigate where that goes and how that feels. And I think that'll be a journey until I die. Yeah.
And that love, is that love coming from outside of you or from inside of you?
I think people that are very religious would probably say outside, but I think how I see it is that it comes from within, and that for me is God that's within you. So everything that I experience that is love, whether it's to you or to a lover or to my mother or to a friend, comes from within because we are all connected in God's love. It's kind of how I see it, but it's definitely something that flows and connects us from within. Yeah.
And when do you feel most like yourself?
Probably, I feel most like myself when I'm immersed in nature, like completely. Even better when I'm naked in nature. But in the ocean or in the mountains and with either myself or the people that I love closest to me with them there. Outside of noise. Because we are nature, right? Like I saw this thing the other day when someone was like, a young boy was like, I'm so confused. Why do people say we go out in nature? You know, we are nature. Like we are literally nature. You can just say, I'm going outside this house or outside whatever. So I think knowing that and feeling that is probably the most beautiful place to be.
Did you find a lot of opportunity to do that, or do you have to carve out that space to get into nature?
To get into nature, there was a moment where I had to carve it out, and life looked quite structured and urban. And once you've carved it out and it becomes a lifestyle, you no longer have to try hard. It just becomes what you see and who you are and where you want to be and the type of people you attract. You know, like I now find myself being more attracted to those souls that are so close to nature, that do live very closely to the land or that live very closely to a community of sustainability. So I think it becomes small habits that establish a lifestyle. You don't have to try hard, really, to find the time for that in the end.
So what small habits have you started into your life that's created this for you?
So ironic. I sold my very small town car and I bought a 4x4 and I love it. I love it. I love off-roading. I think especially living in South Africa, like I came back from Amsterdam and I was in the plane and I was looking over the country and I was kind of going, are you kidding me? Half of our country I can't see because I can't get there. So I sold my little car and I just bit the bullet and bought myself like a really nice like 4x4 and just telling myself, cool, at least once a week, let me go on an adventure that scares me a little bit, that takes me outside of a space that I would be able to go to normally, you know. So that's maybe one example of that.
How do you approach new situations or people? Are you more instinctive or are you more considered?
So my thing with new situations and people is I made a promise to myself that my heart has to be open. And it could be to my detriment, but I have to allow myself to experience new spaces or people fully by being vulnerable, I suppose, and letting them in. And I think I often pray for like spirit of discernment to be able to tell like quite quickly, soon after I've allowed like them to enter, to go, okay, are they for me or are they not, or is this healthy? And then hopefully I can navigate it from there. But mostly my kind of ethos is like to have an open heart. Like sometimes I even find myself crying or mourning or like just, about someone, a friend or a lover, whatever. And then instead of being like, oh, can't I get over this? Why am I so heartbroken? Like my observer, Emilie, in me looks at myself and goes, well done. You are so soft and open. Like, well done for being brave to love or brave to let someone in. And it's amazing because then you just fall in love with people all over again. Yeah.
What's something that you've learned about yourself this year so far?
Yeah. I think the craziest thing I've learned about myself is that I continuously become someone new. Like I continuously become a version of myself that I couldn't even dream of. And I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much because it's like, oh, I get excited to know who I'm going to be next month or like next year or, and I think for a long time I wasn't, when a friend tells you like, wow, you've changed. Like, some people say like, oh, you've changed, and my reaction's kind of like, well, thank goodness. Yes. Like I'm supposed to change. Does that answer your question? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
How do you handle discomfort?
Discomfort depends what type of discomfort, but I think breathing, and I think allowing myself to not care too much about it, or the situation, or actually, you know what? Depends what type of discomfort, because I think if it's discomfort of avoidance in a space, whatever, I'm very confrontational and very honest and open. So if I feel something is uneasy or something's not sitting right, I would rather go to it and be like, hey, do you want to tell me what's up? I wouldn't avoid it. I'm a little bit of the opposite of like an avoidant kind of person. So I would face it head on. If it's too overwhelming, too much, I think I would probably pray and breathe and do something that grounds me.
You're quite religious.
It's a complex question. I have a good relationship with God and that stream of life, but I find it difficult to look at what people have done to religion and the construct thereof. Yeah. But I love community and I love people.
And then lastly, if someone judged you in 5 seconds, what would they get wrong about you?
That I'm intimidating, because I'm not. Yeah, that would probably be the biggest thing.